I'm ready. Are you excited? Okay, so we're gonna check out the angle. I'm here a minute early. We're gonna check out the screen angle, trying to make sure that you can see me and try to connect with me. But it's but as well as see what I'm doing on the table. I've got my laptop over here, hopefully so I can see some of the comments as they come in. But welcome, welcome. It is Make With Me Monday. I am super excited. Hello, hello. So I'm excited because I was talking to my mom today, and so you will notice if you are commenting, I'm trying to kind of keep up with everybody, but I do want to say hi. My camera is way over there. Even with my glasses, I can barely read it. So that's why I've got my laptop over here to try to keep up with you guys. But hi, everyone. Thanks so much for coming. So we have a special guest. We have lots of special guests. You are a special guest for joining me. But if you see a commenter, and her name is Tiger Lily's mom, that's my mom. She's on here. She's going to be answering some questions, probably not, but at least keeping the fun here with us. So we're gonna get right into Make With Me Monday, which is why we're here. And if you saw my story on Instagram, you saw that, hi everybody, so that I was playing, I wanted to get a prototype done. So first, let's just dive right into what are we finishing today? Today, if you've been around Tiger Lily for a while, you've seen this before, but let me show you. This is the 12 Days of Christmas series from Vipsters. Hi everybody. Look, I got California, Alberta, my friend from Percival. Hi everybody. So this was a pattern that I showed you guys during Flossmas of last year. And yes, I'm doing Flossmas again this year, but 12 Days of Christmas ornaments, super cute. I linked some things already down in the description box, but definitely after we're done, I'm going to link everything that I can down below after we're done. So that is Vibsters in the pattern, and I started stitching that, like I said, back in December during Flossmas. I had all the best intentions. We had a lot of stitch along, a lot of friends that were going to stitch with me. We had the best of intentions. Hi, everybody. Oh my gosh. I would love to do like a little map and figure out where everybody is. One of those pins. We have somebody from every state. I think maybe we're going to get there, but I'm so excited. So back to the ornament. We had best of intentions of doing one ornament per month, but you will see. I've got 3 done. So maybe 3 a year for 4 years. I don't know. We'll see. But I do want to show you. So today I got into it and I have 1, 2, and 3 done. And so as a way of, so that I kind of looked like I know what I was doing when I came to Make With Me Monday tonight, I wanted to do a little test, a little prototype to show you this is what we're going to do. So I hope that's fun. So this is what we're going to make. Not day 1, we're going to do day 2 tonight, but this is number 1. And so what it is it's a cross stitch finish, 2 pieces of sticky board, a ribbon, and then it's got this fun greenery and red berries, as well as the wooden bead hang tag. Everything you can get online, everything. Oh my gosh, you're at work. Shh, I won't tell. You can get online or at Hobby Lobby, or, you know, all of it's doable, totally doable. It only took me, even when I was trying to figure out the pattern, this finish from start to finish only took me about 45 minutes. And I tried out different fabrics. And so let's just start right there. You know, this is something I didn't know when I was finishing this, how I wanted to finish it, whether it was going to be one of those pillows that you put on the Christmas tree. Hi, everybody. Oh my gosh, more people at work. Shh, I won't tell. I didn't know if I wanted to do one of those pillow finishes with the stuffing and the fiberfill, or whether I was going to do one of these board ones. Well, I pulled on my glue gun 2 Saturdays ago to do some Christmas finishes that I showed you guys on my Friday Flosstube. And listen, the glue gun just makes it too easy. And I am a big fan of get her done. And so since I've had these 3 finished for probably since March or April, and then I stopped and I squirreled with the best of them and went to something else. I wanted to go ahead and at least get the first 3 on the tree this year, and I knew the glue gun finish was going to be quick and easy and doable. So that's what we're going to do today. So I want to show you guys this. So first I wanted to the stitching. Let me just show you, like I showed you the chart. This is all called for DMC. If you haven't do this, it's all called for DMC. It is on 14 count Shrek's tan, I think. Sarah, chime in if I'm wrong, but I think it's Shrekky's Tan from Fiber on a Whim. I should have wrote it down. It was before my project tracker cards, so I don't know. Hi. So 14 count, Ada, all the DMCs, love it. I'm an Ada stitcher, in case you're new. Shrekky's Tan, yeah, that's what I thought. Thanks, Sarah. So, we are getting this done. I know it's all the called for, and I was a little worried. So let's just talk. So you see some of the greens in the leaves. When you're stitching them, I was a little nervous. Like you can barely see the greens weren't different enough when I was stitching them, but you can see on camera, they show up. Needle Bling Designs. Yes, not Fiber on a Whim. Thank you. Gorgeous fabric. I think I got it on Etsy. Howless Hands Creates. Etsy. One of those. That's the stitching. It's on a sticky board. The fabric is on a sticky board. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to find a fabric that was going to kind of play nicely with the stitching as well as all the other stitchings. So first what I'm going to do is just go over kind of a, yay, hi everybody. What is on the table? What you need, what I'm gonna use, I don't know. So the first thing is you need the background fabrics, right? And so I auditioned some fabrics this afternoon from my little bit of a stash I have behind me. And I found this beautiful Robert Kaufman gingham. Gingham is one of my favorite things to use. And why I said Riley Blake is I know that Lori Holt has a beautiful Riley Blake bundle of gingham. And it's in my cart right now at Fat Quarter Shop, to be honest with you. I haven't pressed buy yet, but it's one of those staples because I love to use ginghams for finishing, whether it's just the back of stitching on ornaments, back of stitching on those like that Santa I did last week. I just love the gingham. It doesn't conflict with the design. It kind of lets your design shine, I think. And that bundle, I'll link it down below. I'll help you. Enable all the way. Welcome. I'm the Enabler Show. So I wanted to show you. So I'll link it down below. Has colors of every rainbow, red to purple, and all the colors in between. But this one was something I have in my stash, that was important because I needed it for today. But it was bright white. And so I'll tell you what I did with it. Right now we're going to stay on point and tell you the other things we're going to be using first. So the other things I've got on the table is, of course, I've got number 2. So this is what we're going to be working on today. It's 2 turtle doves. How sweet is that? I've got this sticky board we're going to be using. I showed you guys this. This is my Amazon generic kind of sticky board. So I'm excited it worked great. Full disclosure, spoiler alert, today was my first day using it. Loved it. So we're going to cut into some of that. I've also got some Hobby Lobby. So this is the greenery that and I'll show you the tag. You can get those full swags or the picks. I found this, okay, $7.99, Hobby Lobby, okay? Half price. Everything in the Christmas section when I went Saturday was half price. But what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cut off one little twig of it. And so there's probably, 40 twigs on there. So it's so great. I mean, for $4, perfect. And then I went and I grabbed over in the Christmas section. Hi, everybody. These red berries. I kept the tag so you could see this. This was back in the Christmas. Hobby Lobby had like all those little things in the middle of the aisles. And so this was back there. It's called the Red Berries. It was in the Christmas crafts area, which was also 50% off on Saturday. So we're going to be using some of those. I went to the ribbon aisle. I've got this gorgeous ribbon, again, Hobby Lobby special. And then some Amazon buys, which are these little brassy antique hook things that I'm not even showing you because they're just flying in the air. A 2022 tag because I did not put a tag, or I didn't put a little date hidden in my stitching on this one. We've got the beads. I'm going to show you how I do that. My glue gun, my paper cutter. So this is not my fabric rotary cutter. Don't worry. I have a special cutter, which is this, or it's Tekka, an Amazon special, one of those Black Friday gigs that I got that I use for paper. So that way I don't cross, it's kind of like paper scissors and fabric scissors. You don't mix them, you just don't. And so I've got a special rotary cutter for paper only, AKA sticky board. And then of course I've got my trusty glue gun from, this was a Costco special, I think, this coming up, a month or so ago. Then I've got some floral twine wire that I'm going to use when I'm making my bow. And I think that's it. Those are the ingredients, the materials that we're going to be using today. So let's, one more. Interfacing. I love, this is my 911. Yep. I was going to say, I knew. I pulled it out. 911 PFF Pellon interfacing. Hi. So that's my favorite interfacing to put on the back of my stitching because it's so lightweight. It doesn't it still makes the piece movable. So you will see I actually have already put it, this is my piece to show you. Oh, me too. So this is the stitching. This is number 3. We're not doing number 3. We're going to do number 2. But I wanted to show you, this is the before. We're going to have like at those cooking shows where they pull things out of the oven half cooked. There's not too many of those things. There's a few that I did prepare before tonight, so that wasn't going away over to the ironing board and you guys listening to my iron grunt. It's a grunting iron. So I didn't want to do that. So I did go ahead. Oh, don't be scared of glue guns. It's okay. I'm going to show you like this super cool trick because I burned my fingers 100 times and I've got this, you'll see this pink mat right here? That's my lifesaver. So I've got my Pellon interfacing in my piece and I went ahead and I ironed it on, all right? And here, let me just pull the half cooked thing out of the oven, just like they do on the cooking shows. This one, number 2, already has the interfacing ironed on. I use it more because with Ada's, with the holes you can kind of see through just enough, just a smidge, because Ada holes are bigger. That's great because then I can see them. So I'm not complaining. I just want to make sure that the stitches, it kind of helps the glue, holds the stitches tight. Any of those threads that are maybe only got caught under 1 or 2 stitch, I'm like super not. Sometimes I'm not as diligent as I should be when you go under a row of 3 or 4 or 5 stitches to, when you're ending your thread. Sometimes I only get like 2. And then I worry about them pulling out and all the crazy things. I mean, this is going to live on my tree, hopefully, for a long, long time. And so I love the fact that I put interfacing on so that in case a stitch gets caught, the interfacing kind of gives it that stability on the back that it won't pull out. So we've got that ready to go. But back to the fabric choosing. So today, like I was telling you guys, I had this red and white, bright white gingham. Love it. Well, when I was auditioning it, that's what I call it. It's kind of like floss tossing when you throw your floss on your different fabrics that you want to play with, trying to see like you're going to switch to this fabric or switch to this floss or whatever you're going to do. It's kind of like that, but with fabric, finishing fabric. And so I had 3 or 4 different possibilities. I went into my flannel shirt bucket, pulled out a bunch of flannel shirts. None of those worked. But this red gingham is, like I said, ginghams are my go-to. But it was just so bright, kind of like picnic tablecloth bright. And it just didn't seem like it went well with the stitching. So what did I do this afternoon? Brewed a cup of coffee. I brewed 2. Keurig to the rescue. Put it in, let it soak for about an hour, and then I cooked it in the oven. Patrick, what are you cooking? It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Oh, fabric. Just cooking some fabric. Don't mind me. So I went ahead and I cooked the fabric, and all that did was just tone down the brightness. So it wasn't so in your face. It softened the brightness of this gingham. And you can do that with any of your fabrics. Now, if the fabric is super important to you, I would test it, kind of like a test swatch with all the things I tell you to do. Test it, make sure it doesn't change the color of the actual color that you're doing versus just adding some muteness to the white, which is what I wanted. Anyway, I love the way this coffee fabric turned out. So that is how I got to that. So always think about that when you're auditioning your cross stitch finishing fabric. You can mute it. You can get that spray too. I haven't gotten some, but I've seen it on Fat Quarter Shop a couple different times, that primitive antique, antiquing spray. I could have used that if I had had it on hand, but the 2 cups of coffee in the Keurig and cooking it in the oven worked just fine. Just a little tip, wasn't that hard. Super easy. So what we're gonna do first is you wanna cut the sticky board. Now, as you can see, hi everybody. So I went right to the edge. It's dependent on your pattern, on whether you're gonna go right to the edge, but I felt that this was kind of already framed. I didn't want to have any extra fabric around exposed, so I wanted to take the stitching piece right to the edge of this stitched border that's on all 12 charts. So I have my ruler, and I went ahead and I measured it. And how did you cook it in the oven? Well, great question, Tiger Lily's mom. It's wet fabric, so I put it in, I let it soak in one of those Pyrex glass dishes for about an hour, and then I pull it out and I rinse it out. Because it wasn't gonna touch anything afterwards, I didn't rinse it till it ran clear. I wanted to keep some of the coffee in there. So then I went ahead and had a cookie sheet, crumpled it up just a little bit, put it on 250, threw it in the oven. It's kind of just like a heat set. I could have thrown it in the dryer, but the dryer is upstairs. The oven's right there in the kitchen where I was doing the coffee. So I just went ahead and I threw it in the oven, and it kind of just dries it up the fabric. You want to keep your eye on it. You don't want to burn it. So I have burned this. Lesson learned. Learned by me is that sometimes you can scorch your fabric in the oven if A, it's in there too long, or B, that temperature is too high. But I do a nice 250 and let it simmer. You're basically just drying it. So I came back and checked it in about 15 minutes. Went in there, reached in, it was dry to the touch, and that's all I wanted. I didn't want to create any of the scorch lines, which I've done when I'm dyeing fabric. I want to create those scorch lines, kind of like take advantage and grow the coffeeness to it. But that's what I did with the fabric. And so now we're gonna go back to cutting. So now I'm gonna take my board, and so I measured the pattern, and I've got my handy dandy notes, so I don't have to, do that on time. So the stitching measures right at 4 1/8 by 4 5/8. Yep, gotta love those math. Right at that 1/8 cut. So I have gone ahead and I've cut 3 of the boards. We're gonna cut one together just so you can know how to do it. So what I did is I've cut the stitching board, and then we're gonna cut the fabric board. So what I did is I've got the stitching board, 4 1/8 by 4 5/8. It's gonna cover right there. So I went and I cut that one. And now we're gonna cut 2 fabric boards. So I've got one, I've cut it, fabric. I'm gonna show you how I do it. But how did I come up with, okay, the stitching board? That's pretty easy, right? You measure the stitching. Or if your stitching piece, kind of like the Santa I have in the thumbnail, if it doesn't have an obvious border, just decide how much margin you want. Do you want to just, it depends. Do you love the fabric? Is it fun? Is it mottled? Is it Aida? Is it have an over dyed funkiness to it that you kind of want to get excited about and take advantage of? Or do you want to come as close to your stitching as possible? It's up to you. This one was easy because it had a frame stitch, so kind of dig on that. But what I use as my rule of thumb is I want a 1/4 inch, especially because this one's already kind of big. I only wanted a 1/4 inch around the actual finished piece, kind of framed it. So that's all you're seeing on the edge. It's just enough of a pop. Now, what I did on the top, because my stitching goes all the way up to the top, and I knew I was gonna put one of those in your face big old bows, big girl bows. I gave myself a 1/2 inch at the top. So what I did is I added 1/2 inch to the left and the right margin, and I added 3/4 inch to the top. So I ended up cutting 4 3/4 by 5 1/2. That's what I'm cutting my sticky boards at. And it's real easy. Like I said, I use a special rotary, not a special, I use a dedicated. It's dedicated. There's nothing special about it. It's got a blade in it and everything. I use a dedicated rotary cutter for my paper. Like I said, you don't want to mix paper and fabric, any of your tools, because once I use this on paper, it dulls real fast. So I want to go ahead, I want to cut the, what did I say, 5 1/2. So I use my Fiskars cutting mat. It's on my giant island. 1 2 3 4 5. I use my mat. And what I'm going to do, because this is super thick, you're not going to cut through it in one swipe like you would with a nice thin, quilting cotton. You just swipe through and be done. You want to be patient when you're cutting sticky board because it is like 10 layers of quilting paper. But I don't know, but I go ahead and I just do one slice and then I come back and I slice it again, and you just keep going until it's out. That way you don't risk shifting it, which I've done. Again, learn from me. And I like to go ahead and use this. I want to cut this way so that I'm pressing. If I was cutting this way and the extra was on this side, I risk the board moving. But if I use the board and I use my 6-inch ruler to cover, I'm going to be pushing down on both the ruler and the sticky board, minimizing the risk of movement. And that is what is going to give me those square, perfect sticky board cuts. Otherwise, like I said, sometimes, see how when I'm pressing on the ruler and the board at the same time, so nothing's moving. There is nothing getting away from me. And so now I've got this piece cut, ready to go. So now that I've got my 3 boards cut, a stitching 1, and I've got 2 fabrics cut, let's move on to step number 2. So step number 2, I've got my coffee gingham. And so what I'm going to be doing with the gingham, what I love to do with gingham is why I love it. A, it looks great. And B, it gives you like cheater lines to always have a straight finish. I like to put my gingham on point. You will see the back, it's on point versus if it wasn't, it would be straight up and down. The boxes would be like a tic-tac-toe board. 5-pound weight. Oh, that's good. That's just, I'm sure I'm putting at least 5 pounds on it when I'm pushing on it. But I like to use my gingham on point. And so what you use is these lines are going to be like your guides, your cheater guides. So like I said, this is the generic brand, store brand, Amazon brand sticky board, not the like name brand sticky board that you can get from Fat Quarter Shop or 1 2 3 Stitch. That's all great, but this is also really good. It's nice and super tacky. Sometimes I felt like that other sticky board didn't stick as well, but this one super sticky. Figuring out which corner works took me a while, but I figured it out. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel fabric number 1 and I'm going to line up with the diamonds. So you can see, so I'm lining up. I know I don't have a top-down camera. If we end up loving these lives, I promise I will get a little more tech savvy and be able to switch camera views and go from front to top down, because I know this is kind of probably pretty hard for you to be like, what are you doing? What are you doing? So if you like the lives, let me know and I will put it on the to-do list to teach myself how to do that. For right now, this is what we got. So anyway, I use the gingham lines, you will see here, and it's so sticky, like look. So super sticky, right? So I just stuck it straight on the fabric. And I used that top box to line up on point. And then I did the same on the side. So now I know everything's centered. Everything is not only on point, it's straight. Bonus. So then I'm gonna go ahead and cut around it, give myself about an inch. There's no rocket science. This is, they get sandwiched together. So it's gonna be okay if, now see, this is why I should have grabbed my other one because this one doesn't work so well. See, cut about a half an inch, or I'm sorry, an inch border around all three, all four sides. And there we go. And so I'm going to do the same thing real quick for the second one, and then we're going to glue them together. So again, this is not tricky. It just takes some time and glue guns. Oh, good. I'm glad you guys are helping each other. Like I said, I have this, my laptop set up over here. I just don't want to sit here and stare. I want to talk to you guys, but my scroller thing, I can't read it. And if I come over here, I don't want, so yes. Ooh, give each other the tips. This is so fun. All right, so I'm gonna line up the ginghams. Box 1 on the top, box 2 on the sides. Shift, line, press. And then it is done. Oh, sorry, shaking the table, it's pressing so hard. Isn't it great? I mean, like sticky board that sticks. Amazing. So I'm gonna go ahead and give myself a nice healthy 1 inch border, and we're gonna put that away. So I've got my 2 boards, right? Easy peasy. And of course I had ironed this so it was nice and pretty and straight and taut. And so now all we're gonna do is glue gun. Now, don't be scared. Don't be scared. It's going to be, oh, autocorrect. I know. But I don't know what you said, but I completely am with you on the whole autocorrect. So glue gun, got it all heated up. This is my, I don't even know if we call it a trick, but this is how I do the glue gun. This is one of those, let me show it down here. It's not pretty because this is one of those silicone sugar cookie. I mean, you don't have to put sugar cookies on it, but that's where it came from. In my life, when I was making Christmas cookies, I would have those silicone mats. I had a whole slew of them. Well, this one got disheveled for some reason, and so I took it upon myself to make it a studio mat. So now it's a studio mat. So I use it. So it's one of those heat resistant, put it in the oven at 450 so it can handle a glue gun. And then I have myself a presser piece. So there's the piece for the bottom, and there's a piece for my finger, because when you press on thin quilting fabric and you're trying to press the board down, or you end up burning yourself, or I did at least. So what I'm gonna do, let me make sure I'm in screen at least a little bit, try to, is I just do the top and the bottom. So I'm gonna put a little thin line, less is more here, and you're just going to use your heat mat, kind of finger saver, and press it down. So I don't go all the way to the edge because the corners get dealt with separately. And I'm gonna do both sides. And here I am cheating and not using my finger press. The finger press gets to be more important in the corners when you're trying to make them all pretty and such. So I do about an inch away from the corners on both 4 sides. And so I'm gonna do both 4 sides real quick. And you taut and pull. So right now, that's what we've got. Now it's time to do the corners. So like I said, I left about a half an inch on either side, and I'm gonna come and I kind of fold it in on itself. And this is where the finger saver gets you. Kind of just put a whole bunch. You can make it pretty if you want, but it's gonna be sandwiched in. Put a whole bunch of glue, not a whole bunch, a couple dabbles of glue into the corner, and press down using your finger saver, and it's done. See the corner? Super great. See the thing? Super flat. And it's all about the, because quilting cotton, obviously it will depend on the fabric that you're using, but if you're using quilting cotton or something like it, it's thin and it's going to press down perfect. And so you grab your little finger saver so you're not pushing down 400, 600 degree glue guns, and it's down. And then you've got corner number 2. And so I should have done this. This is an area that I should have done early. One of those, you know, pull it from the oven type things. But I didn't. We're gonna do all 8 corners together. So let me see if there's any questions. Oh, a tiny cutting board. That's also a great idea. So let me see if there's any questions you guys have so far while I'm gonna press and do these 4 corners. I'm super excited. Yay, yay, Michelle. I'm glad that the heat mat is a good idea for you. Yes, so, and it gives you, saves your fingers. I'm telling you, I don't know how long it took me to figure that out before. How many fingertips I burned before I was like, wait a minute. Let's just cut off a sliver of that heat mat and press on this side like a little sandwich. So it works. So I'm going to do all these 4 corners right, lickety split quick. And see, the glue gun's not scary. Now you could use tacky glue, the Eileen's tacky glue, if you wanted to. If you're more comfortable using Eileen's glue, you totally can. The reason I don't is because I like instant gratification. I like to, when we're done with this, it's done. I don't have waiting a whole night to watch the glue dry. It's like watching paint dry. Who wants to do that? So I do like the instant gratification that the glue gun gives me. And I feel like it's manipulatable enough for these projects. Now, of course, I'm not doing anything with these are not heirloom samplers. I don't take my glue gun to my heirloom sampler. Don't worry, friends. But these are quick little, I mean, I hope that these ornaments will live on for years to come. But they're like, you know, they're fun. They're fun. I'm going to get it done in a night, in a day, and they're going to be enjoyed on the tree for lots of years. And I don't have to worry about all that such. Double-sided acid-free tape also works great. I love that idea, and that also gives you the instant gratification. You don't have to sit there and wait for the glue to dry, right? Finger saver, brilliant. Yes. Yes, I'm so glad. Found the exact pellet she uses. So yeah, perfect. Okay, friends, I love that you guys are helping each other, finding the things, sharing the tips and things that you use. It all works. Okay, so I just like to go around and, hey, it's acid-free sticky board. But again, it's not touching anything. But I like to make them super flat, right? So I've got my 2 boards super flat because I'm going to sandwich them together real quick. How'd you cut your sticky board to the right size? Oh no. Sticky board to the right size. Rotary cutter, ruler, and a cutting mat. And the patience to just go over it and over and over and over it. You're not going to press through it in one slice. That's how you're going to end up shifting and moving, and you're not going to get the exact cut. But you're just going to over it and over and over it. Patience, and you're going to get a cut. It's perfect. So you do need a nice cutting mat. I love this Fiskars 24 by 36. I'm a quilter though, so I need that big one. But you can always just get one of the 12 by 12 ones. You don't need a huge one if you're just doing these small finishes. You know, and you don't need a giant ruler either because you're only cutting the board. However big your board is, you want to go ahead and slice all the way through. So now I'm going to go ahead and sandwich these together. And the key, you do get some strings with some hot glue. That's just, you know, the nature of the beast. So you are going to go ahead, you know, don't go all the way to the edge because you certainly don't want the glue to accidentally come seeping out the middle. But hold on. Just kidding. Don't glue together yet. I almost missed a spot. This is what happens when live. You don't glue it together yet. Because goodness gracious, now we got glue threads. The good news is it dries and we can do it again. Because I almost forgot, friends. I should have made myself notes. But we caught it. Phew. The hang tag, the hang bow, the hang wooden doodaddy thing gets put in, do you see? Goes right in the middle. So we need to make that first before we sandwich them together. Here I was thinking I was all ahead of the game. Okay, so how do I make these? Now you can use ribbon, you could use all kinds of things to do, you know, for your little hang on the tree, hook on the limb, doodah thing. I like to use those wooden beads. Now I do have these linked already because I talked about these last Friday. I have raw wooden beads as well as, I thought I was going to use these, but these were too bright white. And of course I no. So I went ahead and I went with the raw wood ones. I have them linked down below. And so they are 12 mil, I don't know, whichever ones I linked down below. This big. That's how big they are. Nice little tiny hole, totally big enough where you could use a pipe cleaner. So I've used a pipe cleaner in the past on a previous on a previous ornament. I've used pipe cleaners to thread, but I didn't have any pipe cleaners, and I've done this trick before, and so I have an exorbitant amount of ribbon over there, and so I wanted to use some ribbon. So that is what this is ribbon. And so what I do, depending on the size of your ornament, is depending on the size of your beads that you get. If you get the same ones, it's going to be depending on the size of your ornament. Now, like I told you, this one is measuring 4 3/4 by 5 1/2. So it's a pretty good size ornament compared to some of the other ones. And of course I didn't grab them or bring them over, but some of the other ones I did during Flossmas were smaller. And so they didn't need you just want the proportions of your hang tag doodah thing to kind of make sense. You don't want this tiny little thing on this big ornament, or you don't want a big thing on a tiny ornament. You want the proportions to match. And what I found is that I like odd numbers because I like it to come up and have this one bead in the center. So that means it needs to be even on this side, and the one in the center. So odd numbers matter. So the one that I showed you guys on Friday, the hot pink one that Dabo ate on the tree last year. So that one had 7 beads, but that was a smaller ornament. So this one was a bigger ornament, same size beads I'm using. So I went ahead and I did 9. Okay, so I decided 9. This was also a test it out. String it up, hold it up there. Does it look proportionate? Does it look wonky? Does it look like it's too big, like it's too small? Does it look, test it out. See what makes sense for your size ornament. But how I thread these beads is what I want to show you guys. So again, I just grab it. This is just a piece of, it's red gingham. It does have orange polka dots. You never see the dots. It's inside the wooden beads. So I've gone ahead and I've threaded 6 of them to show you guys what I do. And so what I do is I grabbed one of my DMC Tapestry 18 needles. So it's a big chunky needle that is big enough for me to thread, yes, tools, for me to thread the grosgrain ribbon through. So you can see, let me show you. So you see I have my grosgrain ribbon. It's got that nice big old eye. This is like 1/2 inch ribbon, but I can thread it easily through a tapestry needle. And that tapestry needle is perfect. It goes right through the hole real easy. This is where I do have to get a plier to just pull over. It pulls, like you see, it pulls over real quick, real easy. It's just getting over that one little loop. I do, rather than, because it just slips through my fingers, but it doesn't slip through the pliers. So I pull it over and that's it. So now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yay. Now I've got my 9 wooden beads on a grosgrain ribbon, and I'm going to hook them over like this. So now back to my mats that were already all ready to go. So what I decided earlier is, based on my measurements, I wanted this, you want it centered. So take the time to measure from one edge to the other edge. You want your ornament, the hooky loopy thing, to be centered on the back, or in the middle actually. So what I did is I went ahead and I did the math. Obviously this is going to be different depending on the size of your ornament. I went ahead and I chose 1 1/4 from the side, 1 1/4 from this side. I went ahead and just marked it with a Sharpie. It's on the inside, you'll never see it. So then, now we can do it. Tapestry, oh good, because I do have tails. At least I have the needle all ready to go for my beanie hat or my bonnet hat. So I went ahead and I marked the 1 1/4 on either side. And I'm going to go ahead and put a little dot of glue. And I'm just going to push that ribbon down. Oop, I need to use my finger saver because I am pressing on the hot glue. But it dries so fast, and my finger saver is truly that, a finger saver. So let me go ahead and grab my scissors, and I'm going to cut away, and you will see that's what I've got on the inside. It's inside. You'll never see it. And now, friends, now let's return back, shall we, to the sandwiching boards together. So we're going to go ahead and put some glue down. Not too much, not too close to the edge, because again, you don't want it to come leaking out the side. Take the time to center it. Make sure that all 4 corners match. And they do. Get a good press in. The initial press. I'm using my glue gun on a hot setting. But then I'm going to go ahead and just put it under the weight of a box. So it'll go over there in a little timeout area. Thank you so much. Hi, everybody. Oh, I love that you guys are talking to each other. That's so fun. So now that we've got that cooking, that's waiting. It's simmering over here in the corner. We're going to go ahead and finish the stitching. Now, where did it go? Well, here it is. Okay. So number 2. So number 2, we're going to finish it just like, oh my gosh, you're going to be so perfect. Yes. The Prairie Schooler Santas, those would be so great like this. So cute. You can do them all the same or totally different. We're going to tangent for a little bit. So when I was at just because you inspired me. So I was at Hobby Lobby, right? And this is the ribbon we're using today. But I love that they not only had it in the red, they had it in the green, right? So fun. And then not only did they have those, which are nice, thick, grosgrain wire edge ribbons. Thick, what are they? 1.5 inch. Then they had these cute red, green, and black gingham ribbons coordinating. They complement, but aren't exact matches. So these would be perfect. So I'm thinking that when I finish, I got to finish the other stitchings for 4 through 12. But when I do finish them, they don't all have to be exactly the same, but they will complement each other. And that's why I grabbed all 3 of these. I was thinking these would be great. I didn't end up using the gingham ones because I had the gingham fabric, but I think that I'm going to use a mixture of these red and green ribbons. So I'm super excited that they all kind of coordinate, and these would look super fun with Prairie Schoolers for sure. Okay. Back to this. So what I'm going to do is just like I did with the fabric. I'm going to, hold on, pull my corner. Here's my corner right here. Remember this super stick. Can you hear that? It's a good sticky. So I'm going to pull the sticker, and I've already got my stitching. My stitching's ironed. My Pellon 911 FF is ironed on. We are ready to go. Now, because this has a dark mark, it's easy for me to know where to line up. If I wasn't lining this up, let me stick this down and then I'll tell you my tip. I don't know how long this sticky lasts. I don't want to lose it. All right. And I love how sticky it is. All right, now let me tell you my tip. I didn't want to lose this sticky as I told you my tip. But what I like to do, so obviously, like I said, this one was easy because all I'm doing is putting the board right around the perimeter of the stitch. But let's, for example, say that instead of this, there was a Santa in the middle, and then there was a tree here or something. It wasn't an obvious center situation. So what I do, and I've shown this on I've shown this somewhere. I think I have a finished ornament. I did one of these back a while ago. I will link it down below, but I show you this trick. What I do is I put a crosshatch, and of course this is not going to be, I use a ruler, but I measure the middle line here and the middle line this way, right? And I end up using my pencil and I mark a line center to center, center, center. And then, of course I'm using, this is my only pencil. And this is my favorite little this is my favorite part is the pencil cap. But yes, of course I have my pencil. I used it all day today. So I put a center mark on the sticky board. And then I put center marks on the stitching. So that way, when I'm coming back and lining it up, all I do is I match those 4 lines and 4 lines, and they match right up. And then I'm easily can put that sticky board center down. No way am I missing it up. But that's how I center it when there aren't an obvious center line. All right, so I should have told you that while I was doing this, because now I gotta, glue down the corners. Now these corners are a little trickier, only because, I'm pulling stitching. I'm not pulling the stitching enough, but you can, Ada does let you manipulate it just a smidge. So you want to do that. It's not quite the same as the quilter's cotton, so I don't go all the way to the 1 inch. I give myself a little bit more corner to come in. All right, and then, so I've done those same things. I'm going to, now it's time to do the corners. And I'm gonna do the corners the exact same way that I did before, where it's just glue, 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 and I'm gonna use my finger saver and press it down. And I'm going to get it down in the corners. Use a little pressure. Oh, am I shaking the table? I'm sorry. Okay, and so then, perfect. All right, see, we got one corner done. How fantastic is that? Totally upside down, but that's okay. And so then I'm gonna do, usually, and of course I didn't because I was sitting here yakking with y'all. I like to cut away a little bit more of the stitching fabric. That when I did my sample today, I cut away some of the extra. I like to only have 1 inch. You don't need all this bulk in the back. So I should have cut that away to give myself a 1 inch border once I did the first lay downs. So do what I say, not what I just did. Or, do whatever you want. But it reduces some of the bulk when you're setting it down. You don't want to have too much bulk. But really, as long as you can get some of this bulk pressed down with your glue gun, and then it won't matter that you had it there in the first place. So yeah, see what I did there? Let me show you. Hold on. Okay, see this corner? Can you see how flat and not bulky it is now? So this corner has the exact same bulk of fabric, but because I'm using a little extra dibble dabble of glue gun and my little finger saver to really press it down, I lose that bulk. And so then my stitching piece is gonna stick down to the fabric and not have a bulky edge popping up. Oh, you are so sweet. I just want you guys to know I love I read your comments all the time. I need to do better about hearting them and loving them and replying to them. But it's like how I wake myself up in the morning as I come, and you guys give me like my little pep talk. That's so fun. And I'm having so much fun sharing and meeting and doing all the things with you guys. So I hope this is fun. And if it is, maybe we'll figure out what are we gonna make next Monday? What do you want to see? What do we want to make? I don't know. This was fun. It totally gave me a different okay, so look, see? Yeah, and you're right. There's a little glob of glue, but it's gonna be on the flip side. It looks so much prettier on this side. Look at those 2 turtle doves, so sweet. Okay, so I got my stitching piece. We're gonna let that sit right there before we do it. And so now we're in the home stretch, friends. Yay, because I wanted to stay under an hour. So we got to do the last little pieces. So let's pull our back out of the oven. Yay, she's ready to go. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to take our handy dandy wreath that, I don't even know what these things are. These little mini wreaths, you put a little candle or something, I guess. Anyway, $8, half price, Hobby Lobby, can't beat it. So what I do is I went ahead and I cut off 2. Yes, no, don't worry. These aren't fabric scissors either. These are non-fabric scissors. They used to be fabric scissors, but anyway, I keep them all marked. So I cut off 2 little sprigs from the little doodah. And then this was a little too long. This was trial and error. So what I did is I decided that sprig was a little too long. So I went ahead and I cut the sprig down. It obviously, like I said, and I don't want to sound like a broken record, it depends on the size of your ornament. It depends. So I went ahead and I cut off 2 rows of sprigs to leave me this top bundle. And I did the same on this side. And it was just trial and error. First I tried full size, didn't like it, took off 1, didn't like it, took off 2, perfect. So now I've got my 2 sprigs that I'm going to be using. Those are nice. Let's take it up a notch. I went and I grabbed these, like I showed you guys the tag. These are, I mean, these are so cute. It's little red, hold on. I got a whiteboard. So this cute little berries on floral wire is what it is. It's just 2 little red berries. And so what I did is just 2 berries on each one, and you kind of just twist it around just to give your sprig, your little winter foliage, a little berry. That's my favorite, one of my favorite things is seeing all the different color berries. We were on a walk today and I saw berries. I'm telling you, they were teal. I'll take a picture and show you on Instagram tomorrow because I had never seen, I mean, the colors in nature are fantastic, but look how, hold on, let me put my whiteboard. It just takes it up 1 more notch. There are glue strings everywhere. This is what you do. But see the difference? There's the difference between the 1 sprig and then you just add 2 twists. I mean, I think there's like 100 in that bundle package that I bought. 144 pieces for $4, half price. Just adds that little something, those red little berries. So I added 2 per side. Easy peasy. Should have had the other one done for you, but let's chit chat. Oh, I love, yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm going to take a picture of the teal berries tomorrow. They're so, and then they were not only teal berries, there were teal berries with purple berries. I mean, we sat there, I should have taken a picture. And I was, what kind of tree is this? And I've never seen it. I've seen red, I've seen blue, but this teal and purple, I'm telling you, it was out of this world. I don't know what kind of evergreen it was. And I don't know why. I mean, here we are in the middle of fall, and so everything is orange and gold and all the beautiful colors. And then I had this psychedelic, almost like teal. Anyway, so now, how did I get to the teal berries? Oh yes, because they're super cute. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna glue gun right there. And it's, you decide how far you want it to go, where you want it to go, right? But use your finger saver because you're definitely going to be pressing down in a way where you don't want to be gluing your finger. You don't want to be pressing down and gluing your fingers to the board. And yes, blowing helps. All right, friends. Okay, so I've got one side down. Let's put the other side down real quick. And then we're going to pull the ribbon out, make a bow, tie it up, and we're going to be done. Okay, so, all right, we've got our sprigs ready to go. All right, now it's bow time. Okay, not go time, bow time. So, how do you make a tiger lily bow? Well, I am not a bow expert, but let me just tell you what I do. For at least this size, this shape bow, I'm going to take my ribbon. Like I said, this is 1.5 inch wide grosgrain wire edge ribbon. I'm going to cut a piece using my little ruler here, 24 inches. Yes, we are going to cut some off, but I like to have extra. So I take a 24-inch piece and then I wrap it like this. So it's kind of like one of those hope ribbons, right? And then you're going to hope ribbon it up to the part. So we got a hope ribbon, and then you're going to bring the middle down. And I bring the middle down where you start the hope ribbon, where you stop the hope ribbon. It depends on how big you want your loop-de-loos to do. I don't tie them in a bow like you do with your shoes. Like when you're teaching the kids, I do the hope ribbon and then I bring it down to the loop. You see right there? And then, hold on. It's on the table somewhere. See, I always tell you guys, I have a huge mess on my table, and I'm not joking. So then I'm gonna take, this is that floral wire you get in any craft store, and it's got one of these little cutter things. And so, I don't know, I cut probably that too long of a piece, but I cut that, and then I just wrap it around. It's gonna be hidden. And so then, and when you do that, when you're using that, it gives you enough stability, enough flexibility to pull out your loops, pull in your loops. You can change your loops size until you get the pretty, pretty bow that you like. And that's what I do for my bows, is I just wrap them with the floral ribbon. I don't tie them in a bow like you do with your shoes. And then, so when I was making today's video, I was deciding, do I want to put a button in the middle? Do I want to do this? Well, I knew since I had the sprigs and the berries and the thing, sometimes too much is too much. So I auditioned a button. It did not make it. I auditioned some of these things. I got a Hobby Lobby. Look at these little wreaths and some other things. I auditioned some things I like to put in the middle, but at the end I decided that with the floral and the berries and all that stuff, it was too much. Less is more here. Really, there's no less. And so then I'm gonna go ahead and take like a 3-inch piece, and I'm going to wrap it around. So right now, this is what my bow looks like. Okay, easy peasy. And then I'm gonna wrap this around to cover that floral wire. Yes, we're going to glue gun again. And you're gonna take a finger, say, ooh, don't press with that finger. That was not on the silicone mat. And then you're gonna come on this side, press this one down, and then you're gonna fluff up your bow a little bit. So fun. Okay, so we're almost to the final steps. Here it is. All right, so we're going to go ahead and put our piece on. Actually, let's go ahead and put the bow on first. Let me get another glue gun stick. Who knew I was gonna need 2, but I had a spare just in case. And again, we're just gonna glue gun the bow down. And you've just got this easy peasy place right here. Glue it down right on top. I don't have to use a finger saver because there's nothing to press. You can totally do the bow. Yes, Laura. The whole thing with the bow, and that's my favorite part. And then you either hide it with this, hidden ribbon thing, or you hide it with the hidden ribbon thing and then a button. Or listen, any bow you've ever seen, this is how I do it. It's with that hope loop, grab them together, use the floral wire. Okay, so remember, I cut 24 inches because I like to have a little extra to cut and make pretty edges at the end. So you could probably go down a little bit, but it's okay. It's better to have, what do I tell my kids? It's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. This is true in bows too. Anyway, so you've got this. Let's go ahead and we're going to it's the final stretch for real. Okay, we're gonna glue gun the back. Again, taking into consideration, don't go to the edge because you don't want to ooze out the middle. And I want to match up my corner on the sides, come right up. So remember, when I centered it, I had a little extra fabric at the top and the bottom. I'm sorry, not at the bottom. I have an extra, 1/2 inch at the top where it's a quarter is my border on the fabric. And then I'm gonna make, I like to have nice pretty, my mama taught me how to do the bows. The bows, the edges of the bows is almost as important as the bow itself, really. So you go, and I like to do the V corners. You could do the V or the straight, whichever style speaks to you. Okay, we're almost, and then the finishing step, I like to put a tag on the back. I don't have my tags right now, but I'll put a tag on the back kind of like as my signature since I did not sign these ornaments. We're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna show you, don't fret. I'm gonna show you. I have these cute little hang tags that I got from Amazon as well. It's got a 2020, it's like oil rubbed bronze charm, and these little antique hang tags. It doesn't come, again, it doesn't come in these containers. This is that mac and cheese container I showed you guys on Friday. There's like a zillion of them. So I'm gonna put one of those. I'm gonna tuck it right inside, kind of underneath the top, underneath the bottom of one of my little bow loops. Close it up like it's a safety pin, and then cover it with my loop, and now it hangs. And now we've got 1 and 2 done. Oh, hold on. You can always fluff up your bow. Bows can always be made prettier. Okay. But the wire edge bows makes it super easy to fluff it up and make it pretty after you put it away. So that's it, friends. So this is the one I did today, and this is the one we just did together. Are you excited? Are you gonna do some? All right, so I'm gonna take 5 minutes. If you have any questions, anything on the table, I'm gonna look away from the camera, read my laptop, let me know. Send me a question if you have any. Otherwise, I don't want to keep you. I know I just passed the 60-minute. Darn, I thought it was going to be under an hour. Oh, it's so cute. Yes, all the bow tips come from Tiger Lay's mom. That is for sure. She is the bow queen. I should send you a picture. Christmas, I've shown you, I did a Christmas tour of her house last year during one of the Flossmas episodes, but it wasn't during like when the present explosion happens, and literally every present has one of these wire ribbons galore everywhere. Oh, so pretty. Thank you so much. Oh, yay. Oh, I'm so glad, Sarah. So Sarah, are you going to finish yours? I know I think you're ahead of me on these stitches. I've only got 1, 2, and 3. I could finish 3 up real quick. I think with 3, because there's so much green in this one, I think I'm going to do the green ribbon. I don't know. I think I'm going to go ahead and get that. Sorry if you can hear the dog barking next door. That's my neighbor's dog that is out there probably barking at my dog. I think I'm going to get the Riley Blake gingham fat quarter bundle and see if they have one of those yummy greens that is in here that kind of matches this, so that way they can play nice. And of course, I'll probably be coffee dyeing it again. Get rid of the hair? Oh, good tip, Jamie. Thank you. The spider webs, I do. Rather than just going like this with them a little bit. Yeah. Well, we're so close to the same finish. I don't know. We've got too many things to do. So many things on the to-do list, Sarah. So many. Good idea on the hair dryer. That's for sure. Okay, friends. So, yay. I'm so excited. This was super fun. I feel like I was kind of disconnected with where the other live I did. I got to just stare at the screen at the same time and talk to you. But I hope that this was fun for you guys. I hope maybe you found a tip, saw a thing, did a thing. I love to share. I love to enable. I love to help. Hopefully I am. Please let me know what you think. Let me know if there are other things that you've seen that I've made that you maybe want to make with me, maybe want to see me make. Is anybody actually like sitting at their table using a glue gun right now? I am curious if anybody is making with me, or if you all are just stitching and watching. That's what I would be doing. But let me know if there's anything that I have made that you maybe want to watch me make a little closer and in real time. Okay, friends, so I'm going to figure out how to press stop on this on our first Make With Me Monday. So fun. Thanks so much for joining me. And of course, I will see you on Friday. Happy stitching, friends.